I'll check this later. All right. The Astros do it. They come from behind and they win. They scored 10 runs. We don't care what that means for tomorrow. We're focused on today. Altuve and Abreu go deep to cap off a 5-run eighth for this Astros victory. Let's talk about this and what's going on with Mr. Javier on this edition of Locked On Astros.
Alvarez hits a high drive center field. Beer leans back. This game is turned upside down. There's the runner. Fly ball down the right field line. Tucker comes on. Kyle Tucker. This time they finish the job.
Hello and welcome to Locked On Astros, your daily Astros podcast. Here are your hosts, Eric the Man Huysman and Brett H-Town Wheelhouse Chancey.
We are Locked On Houston Astros, and we hope that you join us for a daily Locked On Astros podcast. My name is Eric Huysman. You can find me on Twitter at Eric Talk Stros. Find the show at Locked On Astros, your team every day. I may seem confident. I'm kind of like Bly Madriz today. I've got my first 2 hits, and I'm feeling really confident today. Brett, where can you find you at?
They can find me at H-Town Wheelhouse on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. They can find me at Stros411 on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Always positive. I love it. Come from behind victory. Always Stros.
All right, guys, this was a stressful game. This wasn't always roses. It wasn't until the 8th inning that it became an actual game that the Astros were going to win this game. But if you like going to Astros games and enduring the stress and you don't want to pay a lot of tickets, why don't you download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Last minute tickets, lowest price guarantee. And guys, the Astros did it. They won this game. We're going to talk about that. But guys, we want to talk about you for a second. Thank you for becoming an everydayer. Somebody that listens to our podcast every day, whether it's on YouTube. Go and keep on subscribing to us. Give us a fat thumbs up while you're doing it. And make us your first listen on Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast. Check out the Locked On Astros podcast. And the Astros won. It was a slugfest. It was a close game. It was a game that I think it was only the 3rd game the Astros have won this season after trailing after 8 innings or something. Jose Altuve returned to the lineup. The Astros scored 10 runs. What's going on with Cristian Javier? Bly Madriz, he's got some swag after he got his first double. He looked like I'm pretty sure he winked at the pitcher. He did the whole Field of Dreams and winked at the pitcher. Wow. And then we have a Jordan Alvarez update. That's just all of what we got talking. But this game was kind of you scored 3 runs in the first inning, and you're like, oh, we got this. And then Cristian Javier gives up 4 runs in the first inning as well. So Brett, go and take it away.
Yeah, so this game was a tale of many narratives. Number one, the Astros, like you said, jump out to that 3-0 lead, but then Javier comes up and they put up a 4 spot on him. Javier has not pitched well. Brian McTaggart actually posted this on Twitter, and I mean, all you have to do is look it up. His last 2 starts have been just simply abysmal, Eric. He has given up, what do we say, in his last 2 starts, he's only gone 6 he's only gone 6 1/3 innings. He's given up 12 hits. He's given up 10 runs. He's given up 2 home runs. He's walked 6 batters and only has 2 strikeouts.
Right.
The most concerning thing for me is not necessarily the 6 walks, because he only had 1 walk today, but it's the 2 strikeouts. Only 1 strikeout in each of the last 2 games.
Actually, it gets worse. But in the last 17 1/3 innings, he has 6 strikeouts.
Wow. So, I'm looking back in June. His highest strikeout total was June 30. He had 5 strikeouts. He only gave up 1 earned run. He actually got the victory. That's his only win. So he's 1-0 with 5 starts in June. He's still 7-1, which is crazy. And I don't know what's going on with Cristian Javier. His velocity seems to be down. He's leaving a lot of stuff up. His invisible isn't invisible anymore. The ball, because I went and looked at the hit tracker after Paul Goldschmidt hit the home run, or I'm sorry, was it Nolan Arenado. I get those two mixed up. I don't know why. They just kind of have the same body type to me. Was it Arenado? Yeah, Arenado who hit that home run. I guess Arenado and Goldschmidt, but the Arenado home run, where he's putting the ball. These guys aren't necessarily hitting well this year, as well. Actually, they've been kind of down, but they're still not terrible. 273, 288 between both of them. But when you meet pitch these hitters, they're going to absolutely crush it. And so he's throwing the fastball at a frequency rate, and it's getting hit too much. And so he doesn't have the movement. He doesn't have the late movement. He doesn't have the late action on it. I don't know if that's a mental thing or if that's a physical thing. I don't know if he's opening up too much. I don't know if his release point is off. Later on, I'll talk to y'all about Spencer Arrighetti. He had his first start in AAA tonight, and he had a decent outing. But Javier could have really ruined this game if the offense didn't come through, Eric. But you had the Astros who put up, man, they had several guys with multi-hit games on the night tonight. They had Kyle Tucker was 3 for 5. Jose Altuve did a phenomenal job, hitting the home run. Abreu got the home run, and but when Jose Altuve hit that home run, the dugout came to life, and they needed that. This was a victory that the Astros needed to have. And the bullpen, for the most part, locked it down. Outside of Dubin giving up a runner here or there, the guys after him seemed to settle down, and the relief pitchers did their job.
Yeah, it was definitely a game where you're like, this is this was stressful, and the Astros got off to an early start. And you're like, okay, Jose Altuve is back in the lineup. He's the spark plug, and all of a sudden, everything just kind of fell apart. And it was just weird to see how this game kind of went back and forth throughout the game. But I think that if you're looking at overall, the Astros need to be more consistent, and it starts with Jose Altuve and just putting your best lineup out there. I didn't think your best lineup out there would be Bly Madriz out there, but he did a pretty good job today. He just looked like he had control of everything, and I think overall it was just a pretty cool game. So looking at the overall stats from Cristian Javier, it's a little bit down. I was trying to look at like what he's done in the past. It looks like his curve spin is still in a great. His fastball velocity is a little bit down this year. His fastball spin rate is down this year. So there's just a lot of reasons why. I don't know if he's tired or what. I saw we were doing a relevant app, and some people are saying we need to move him back to the bullpen. No, I don't think the Astros need to move him back to the bullpen, but we can focus on Cristian Javier all day, but this offense just kind of blew up today, and it's good to see it. You want to see this. This is what we've been asking for. And when I saw Montero warming up when the Astros were trailing by 2 runs, I'm like, oh crap, here we go. And then we even saw Sean Dubin come in, and Sean Dubin, to his credit, he gave up a home run, I think, but to his credit, he pitched pretty well, and he looked like he dominated Wilson Contreras for a little bit, and I struck him out, and he looks like he's got some pretty decent stuff once he figures it all out. But Dusty Baker seemed to bring in his B squad today, and the B squad, until the Astros took the lead, then he brought in Brian Abreu and then Ryan Presley to close out the game. But it was the story was the offense, and the offense was led by Jose Altuve and Jose Abreu in this game, because Jose Altuve had the go-ahead home run, and then Abreu had the home run that kind of was the kiss of death, as Mario would say, or is that Robert Horry? I forget.
No, that was Mario Ellie with the kiss of death. Yeah.
Yes. So
yeah, that was the famous Rockets moment where they turned things around. I was actually at the final game of that series when they went on to the Western Conference Finals to defeat the Utah Jazz, and went on, later that season to win the NBA Finals. If you are going to get tickets to the Astros game, you need to go to the Game Time app right now. Download the app today. Use the promo code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Whether you are going to an Astros game, whether you're going to a comedy show, it doesn't matter what the event. And you don't even have to plan months in advance. You don't have to look what the calendar says in August. You can wait till August if you're not going till August. And you can wait till the day of the game. And when you get that ticket, if you find the same section seating and the same row on a different ticket app and it's a lower price, you let Game Time know and they will credit you 100% the difference to your account. That way you have more money to buy tickets. 2 clicks and you're there. You don't have to fumble through your email, right there on your phone instantly. Take the guessing out of it, get views from your seats, get the guarantee that you will get the seat that you pay for. And I mean, it's safe, it's easy, and it's secure. Use the promo code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase at Game Time. Go check them out today. And go check out the Astros play one more game against the Cardinals Thursday night, 6:15 p.m. Central Standard Time. Catch every pitch of the Astros hometown broadcast with SiriusXM on the SXM app. Search Astros.
All right. So before we go on to the game, a little bit more into the game, I do want to kind of talk a little bit more about something that Dana Brown was saying today. He said on the trade market on Sports Talk 790, he said right now there's not much on the shelf. Hopefully, as we get closer to deadline, there's going to be more opportunities. Make no mistake, we're going to try to be as active at the deadline to acquire what we need. Yeah, we'll take a rental. We'll take a big bat to add to Jordan and Brantley when they get back. We'll also look for a good arm to add to get us over the hump. We're not in the business of throwing away our top prospects for a rental. And he said, nobody is untouchable. And he said that, and when he was asked if Drew Gilbert is untouchable, and he says, our plan is not to panic, stay the course, do what we do, and chase down the Texas Rangers. And that's basically what they're going to do. So,
yeah, no, yeah. I mean, I loved what he said on the radio. I listened to it. I actually put some of the same quotes up on Twitter. Look, it sounds to me like they are serious about trying to win this year. I don't think they're going to stand pat, but they're also not. They're in the buying mood, but they're also going to be calculated about it. He said he wants to add a bat. He wants to add an arm. And he made no qualms about that. They were asking about the lineup today too. And, I think that's pretty much, he leaves that in Dusty's hands. But I like what I heard from Dana Brown. Here is the chess match that will ensue when you get closer to the trade deadline itself. Who's in the mix? And this year, more teams are in the mix than they've ever been in the mix for a playoff spot. The Astros are still outside looking in for simply the last wild card spot.
Right.
So where you usually have 4 or 5 teams that are really competing, you probably have 8 to 10 that are competing, and it's how serious they are. So who are the sellers? What are the bats that are out there? They want controllable assets. The Mets, it looks like they're going to be sellers, dude. The Mets are in shambles right now. It's gone so far that even Max Scherzer has said he's considering waiving his no trade clause in his contract to go somewhere else. I mean, even Jeremy Brennan from ESPN 97.5 said, why don't we trade for Justin Verlander? I mean, everybody's looking at everybody right now, but I don't think anybody's untouchable. I think if the price is right and they can get someone that's a controllable piece for the next couple of years, like a Dylan Cease, you may see a top prospect like a Drew Gilbert or someone like that be dealt. I know one of these outfielders, McCormick, Myers, or Julks, one of these 3 guys is probably going to be gone. I would put my money on Chas McCormick being the guy because he's got the most value on the trade market, and he hasn't really. He doesn't seem to be one of the favorites to go out there.
If there's that rift between Baker and Chas.
Yeah. Look, that rift, I don't know if that's, look, they say it's there. Only thing I have to do is go off of what they say because they're in the clubhouse. But when you talk to different people that have actually played baseball, played minor league baseball, pro baseball, they say if there was a rift, how would anybody know it? Dusty's not going to say it in front of anybody. And Dusty's the kind of guy that he would probably keep that under his hat. I don't know. I know there was tension about the whole Miles Straw thing. So you can make what you want of those things in the clubhouse. The bottom line is they need more games like today. Winning solves everything in my mind.
Right. So who has a higher batting average right now? Chaz McCormick, Jake Myers, Jose Abreu, Alex Bregman, or Bly Madris?
Well, why would you pick? Why would you say that? And the obvious answer would be Bly Madris because he only has very few.
Because he had an awesome game, man.
He was only 2 for 4, Eric. Okay, I'm not.
Did you see that hit?
Yeah, that's great. He got a hit. That's great. I mean, are you gonna be the president of the Bly Madris fan club?
No, but listen to this top distances of this game. Paul Goldschmidt, 443. Brendan Donovan, 416. Jose Abreu, that was a blast, by the way, 416. That was the Marielli kiss of death. And then Bly Madris, 409. And did you see the graphic that said that if it was calm weather out there, not so windy, it would have been a home run? I don't know if you saw that graphic, but they said that because the wind kind of blew it down, it was a double. But if it was a calm weather out there, it would have been a home run.
They should have closed the roof then, huh? Like like Aaron Boone said that they should have closed the roof.
Martin Maldonado had a 394-foot double as well. So two of them hit them, and Bly Madris hit it to that triangle out in center field. And that the Astros showed some heart today, and that's what you have to like. They had 10 runs on 11 hits. Their expected batting average for the game was 320. Their hard hit percentage was 40%, which was a little bit lower than the Cardinals. The Cardinals may have had the more home runs overall, but the Astros I felt like they really took care of business. Yeah, they had 3 home runs and we had 2 home runs, but I just think that the Astros just found the right time to just get those home runs. And it just like Jose Altuve, that was just like, I was just like, he looked so bad. The first pitch, I don't know if you remember, like kind of ran in on him and fouled off the bat. And then the second pitch was kind of outside the zone and umpire called it a strike. And then I think there's another ball or something. And I was telling Mon on the relevant app, I'm like, okay, Altuve, just you like to swing first pitch. Let's pretend like this is 0-0 count. Next pitch, boom, he hits a home run. And it's just like, that's what I think sometimes players have to do is, okay, let's forget what happened. Those 2 pitches were not strikes. Let me just pretend like this is 0-0 count and just get the pitch I want. And that's what he did.
Well, I think too, right. And definitely want to look at this graphic we have of, Jose Abreu's home run because the exit velocity was amazing on this. I'm going to give y'all that are watching a little graphic of his bat going through the zone and just what it looked like. So let's see this real quick. You see his bat. I mean, he gets a ball out in front, barrels it up. And when he hits it 105.9 off the bat, just an absolute tank. And then when you look at it on the chart, you can see that it went, 416 feet, height of 78 feet. And then it shows you at the end of this graph where it would have ended up in Minute Maid Park. It would have barely cleared the fence, I think. But look, in his last 15 games, Eric, the reason why I bring that up, he has 5 home runs, 16 RBI, 2 walks. He's hitting .302 and with 19 hits. He is turning it around. He is looking really, really good. His last 7 games, 276 with 2 home runs. So he's trending up and he's not slowing down. And we need this right now. We need this in a desperate way. We needed this win because I was actually talking to a friend as the Astros. We were kind of like, well, if this team's only identity is Yordan Alvarez, then we got real problems because he's not going to be back till the All-Star break. And if we wait that long, we might be 10 games back because the Rangers won again today. So look, keep pace with them, gain at least a game a week for the next 5 or 6 weeks. You'll be back in first come August 1st. And everything will maybe fall in line. So, but they definitely need to be active at the trade deadline. Cristian Javier not being good. Valdez the night before, 3 wild pitches. When your aces, aren't throwing like aces, it gets a little bit more concerning for the long run. Like, what team is going to show up in September? What team is going to show up in October? And are they going to be on the outside looking in? I mean, it would kill me if the Angels made the playoffs, but the Astros didn't.
Yeah, we'll see. They do have a pretty good player who's having a great season. He's up to 28 home runs already, Shohei Ohtani. But
Yeah,
you
but
can't always count on them continuing that. And their pitching has been suspect over the years, and so you can't always count on them to stay healthy. But when they do, they're a pretty good team, and the Astros just got to win. They got to continue winning, and the best time to win would be this weekend series against the Rangers. And the best place to win, if you can't go up to Arlington, is to go watch it at your local Hooters, right, Brett?
Yeah, that's right. So do you and your buddies need a place to hang out and go watch the Astros that dominate the competition like they did today, from Katy to Pasadena, Sugarland to Pearland, from Baytown to Galveston, even out to Stafford? They have Hooters all over the Houston area. Monday, they have buy one, get one wings. Tuesday, $9.99 burger and fries. Actually, today, my son and I enjoyed the buy one, get one boneless wings. They were excellent. Thursday, $19.99 wings and Big Daddy bundle, and Friday's $19.83 crab legs. Saturday and Sunday, kids eat free. Also, their happy hours are Monday through Friday, 2 to 7 p.m. and 10 p.m. to close. Join them anytime for $3 Blue Moon drafts and $9.99 Michelob Ultra pitchers. And let me tell you about the Pearland Hooters. On focus on them because they have on the 7th, they have in July, Sunday the 2nd, a bingo at 7 p.m. Go check them out. On the 6th, they have trivia. And on Friday, July the 7th, a live Locked On Astros podcast. Yes, yours truly and Eric the Man Huysman will be there for a live podcast. They'll have games. We'll have ticket giveaways. So check them out. Come hang out with Locked On Astros guys where we hang out, and let them know that we sent you. Go to the place with the best wings, the best service, and the world-famous Hooters girls today. And don't forget that the Astros finish up the series and try to close it out with a series win Thursday night, 6:15 p.m. Central Standard Time. Catch every pitch of the Astros hometown broadcast with the SiriusXM app. On the SXM app, search Astros.
Don't forget that also Jose Abreu did get his 900th career RBI in this game earlier in the first inning, I believe, and he also got 902 later in the game. But definitely Jose Abreu is turning around. That's why I got a little bit agitated yesterday in yesterday's show, because in the comments, people are like, Jose Abreu needs to bat 8th and 7th and 8th. I'm like, this guy is the one that's actually making good contact recently, making hard hit. If you're making good contact, having great exit velocity, they're going to fall. And they started falling today. He had that line drive up the middle. Then he had that home run, and he's making some good contact. Jose Abreu is not the guy I'm worried about. Kyle Tucker, I've not been worried about him, but I just wanted more consistency. He was a little bit consistent today. And then Alex Bregman, I would love for him to be a little bit more consistent. But the guy that they need to get back to this lineup is Yordan Alvarez. And there was some good reports on him today. The fact that he did go ahead and take some swings off the tee and some swings off a soft toss. I believe it was in the cage.
Yeah. He's not hit on the field yet,
Right.
but he'll get there eventually. Look, someone's saying that Diaz, he needs to be playing every game. He pretty much is playing every game. Maybe I think you mean catching, but hitting lately, Diaz has not been doing well. I think he's like 0 for his last 7 at bats. He's hitting 233 over his last 7 games. And so he's not really getting it done at the plate like you would like him to, because over the last 30 games, really hitting 267 with 7 home runs, but that has been reduced. The league's probably adjusting to him a little bit. There's more game film on him, on his tendencies. But one of the things that really concerned me was, and I wasn't watching, I was listening to the game whenever Kyle Tucker was up with bases loaded. I know he went 3 for 5, but the pitch that he looked at, okay, I don't know if it was the last, because the last strike I think was a swinging strike. The first strike he got was over the middle of the plate, over the heart of the plate. And to me, if anybody should have a green light, it would be Kyle Tucker. And that was the kind of ball that I thought Kyle Tucker could have taken to left center field and had an opposite field home run just because of his power.
Right.
I was surprised, and I hated to see him get up there and strike out with bases loaded. I thought when that happened that was going to be kind of how the night was going to end for the Astros. Little did I know the 5-run spot would happen in the 8th. But those are things this year that we've been seeing happening more times than not, and we need those things to be less frequent. You know, I was discussing it with a friend on the way home from Sugarland, and we were just saying how Tucker must have been looking for another pitch, or he just didn't have the green light at all. I would green light any of my best hitters on a 3-0, especially with us not being able to score a whole lot lately. That would have been the perfect opportunity. But what are they looking for? What was the pitch called, you know, from the dugout? Hey, look for this. Was he just said, no, don't swing at all? But you hate to see him go down on something like that. You really need Tucker hitting in that situation. He wants a big contract, but he's going to have to start delivering in moments like that.
Yeah. So I think overall the Astros offense answered the bell today, and 11 hits. You got to look at the positives from this. This has been a bad road trip, and I mean they technically could have won 2 out of 3 from the Dodgers series if the whole Stanek gate didn't happen or whatever we're calling that. But it's good to see them have some resolve, because like we were talking on the Relevant app, it just felt like there's no fire. It just felt like they're just kind of going through the motions, and it just felt like there's nothing there. Then all of a sudden it felt like they wanted it. And this team, nobody's going to just give you the game. So they scored the 5 runs in the 8th inning, and it was a totally different feel. And once they kind of got to the bullpen a little bit, and it was awesome to watch. And I wish we have more moments like this, where I don't know if it was the fact that Montero was warming up in the bullpen and they're like, oh crap, we better score so we don't get Montero in the game.
I'm so glad they did not put Montero out there. I just could not even believe that I even saw that. And all I could picture was Dusty saying, he's pitching lights out, he's just getting hit. But look, between Martinez, Abreu, and Presley, they had 5 strikeouts. They had no walks. They only gave up 1 hit. So they did a phenomenal job. I mean, even with the 1 run that Dubin gave up, he had 4 strikeouts in 2 innings, Eric. But hey, since we're talking about pitching, Spencer Arrighetti had his debut in Sugarland tonight. He went 5 innings pitched. He gave up 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts, 2 solo shots. His 4-seam topped out at 94 miles an hour with a 2292 RPM spin rate, and then his top spin rate was on his slider at 2764. He looked good. Look, he started out a little shaky, but after he got into some problems in the first inning, he got his last 2 batters that he faced, he struck him out. And the Astros gave him the Space Cowboys gave him some run support. Out there, John Singleton was out there. That was cool seeing him out there. That was great. I caught him getting a couple stabs at first, looking, pretty decent at the plate. He drew a walk, and that team, look, Shea Whitcomb can just mash the ball. Corey Lee got a hit early on, but Perez is actually hitting really well. Joe Perez, Salazar was behind the plate. It was a fun time out there in Sugarland. If y'all get a chance, y'all need to go hang out there. I'm actually headed out there tomorrow to interview Quincy Hamilton, one of their outfield prospects for the Houston Astros.
What did John Singleton do today?
Oh, John Singleton overall. I don't know what his overall numbers were because I left
what
early.
What did he do today? Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, no, I don't. I didn't. Like I said, I don't have it in front of me. I left the game early because
that's fine.
Well, yeah.
His overall stats are so far. This was through the first 2 games. Is 667 with 1 home run, 4 RBIs. Granted, it's a small sample size, but if he continues to show success, I don't think he's going to come up and be an everyday type of guy like the listeners to that Locked On Astros podcast. But if he can be somebody that could be somebody off the bench, better than a Gray Kessinger, somebody that'd be a left-handed power bat off the bench, something like that, I think that is something you can look forward to for John Singleton. But I think they're going to give him some time to kind of show what he can do. And Bly Madriz maybe earned himself some more playing time with his game today. But we'll see what Greg Kessinger can do. But the Astros are on the way to get healthy down the road, but it's still got some time. And tomorrow you've got the Astros playing the Cardinals again. It's going to be JP France versus Adam Wainwright. It's a 6:15 start. You can go and listen to that on SiriusXM. Just download the SXM app and search Astros. You can listen to all the play-by-play coverage. And this will be an interesting game. JP France has been showing some better pitching recently, and Adam Wainwright is just not that type of guy anymore. So Rob says that Singleton was 2 for 3 with a walk. So so we'll see. I don't think they're going to rush him up here, but I wouldn't mind seeing him as a bench option.
No, he looks great. I mean, he's got this year in the minors. He has like 11 home runs. I mean, he's not doing bad. He's actually hitting really well, and to me, would be a great story. Can you imagine the Astros going into the playoffs with a guy like John Singleton being a hero in one of the games, in a wild card game or an ALDS game? It would be a great story, and he's definitely one of the guys that I'm going to try to get a hold of before maybe he gets a call up to help out the team. I'd love to talk to John Singleton because he's been through the ups and the downs. Perfect redemption story for the Astros. Well, hey, Chris Castellani said it on Twitter. Jose Altuve may have saved the Astros season, quite literally. Without Yordan Alvarez, Jose Altuve is trying to play hero, and he did that. Him and Abreu crushed the Cardinals tonight. Let's hope we come back for Game 3 and win the series before we go to Arlington to play the South Oklahoma Rangers. I'm H-Town Wellhouse. He is Eric. You can find him at Eric Talk Stros. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you for checking us out, and thank you for being an everydayer. Remember, we're your team every day. Go Stros.
Go Stros. Vote for Alvarez.